What's up, guys? It's everyone's most hated stance kid back again with another video. We didn't have enough camber from cutting the strut towers because I like to do everything very excessive, and this is not enough. So we're going to be installing some MK8 Racing RCAs, which, if you don't know what that is, roll center adjuster. So they look like this, and basically what it is it bolts on to the control arm, and then the ball joint bolts into the RCA. So it does a few things. These are the type 2s. These are the most aggressive. This will give me 3 to 4 degrees of camber. They make a type 1, which is 2 to 3 degrees. It comes with all the hardware that you need. And not only does this add camber, but it also adds track width. So if you're not familiar with track width, this gives you 40 millimeters of track width. So in other words, the wheel is going to be pulled out 20 millimeters on both sides, because track width is measured total from side to side. So it's not 40 mil per side. Just split it in half. So 20 millimeters of track width per side. So it's going to pull the bottom of the wheel out quite a bit. And so we're basically, instead of what usually happens is you get camber from the top with top hats, now we're getting camber from the bottom. And in our case, being bagged, it's just going to help us with more clearance between the strut and the fender well. So let's get the car in the air and get started. All right, so we finished the first side. You can't really tell now. I'll show you guys at the end. There's a lot more camber, and it pulls the wheel out quite a bit. So what you need to do is, when you jack it up and you take the wheel off, now I'm on air suspension, so I had to let the air out of the bag, but if you're on coilovers, you don't need to do this. You don't have to take off the sway bar end link or anything. There's these 3 studs down here that hold the ball joint on. It's a 16 mil. So 1, 2, 3. Take these nuts off, and then you can pull up on the hub and separate like this. You can see it's already wanting to come down. You got to separate the ball joint from the control arm. So one thing you can do is you just take a pry bar, put the pry bar between the ball joint and the control arm like this, boom, and it should come right out nice and easy. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like when you're finished. So let me show you a trick. What you want to do is, when you get the control arm off from the ball joint, you want to put the RCA on first to the ball joint before you do anything else. But these bolts that are supplied with the MK8 Racing kit, that hold the RCA to the control arm, put these bolts in first before you put the ball joint on. Once you put these bolts in, obviously you don't need to put the nuts or anything. Just set them in the hole and then put the ball joint onto the RCA, because if not, you will not be able to put these bolts in if you don't do it before. So just something to keep in mind. Put the bolts in the RCA, put the RCA onto the ball joint, tighten the ball joints, and then you can put these in the control arm and then tighten them up like normal. And then this is what it looks like when it's finished. And now I can already tell you, because we already finished the other side, your alignment is going to be absolutely cooked, because you're pulling the lower out so far. Your alignment is so terrible, so you're definitely going to need to fix this. And it's so bad that I wouldn't even recommend driving to an alignment shop. Go ahead and crack the tie rod free and then adjust the toe, at least so you can get it somewhat decent, because it's bad, it's undrivable. So you need to make sure that you guys do something before you go to the alignment shop. All right, so once you kind of fix the alignment a little bit, just make it look decent, throw the wheel on, put it on the ground, and then we'll double check the alignment and stuff. All right, alignment eyeballed, it's on the floor. So the RCA does push the wheel up quite a bit, so I can't air out as low as I did before, which means I can adjust the strut actually, so I can ride a little bit lower PSI, since I don't need to air out as low anymore. But this is how we're looking. This is the fitment. I mean, holy crap, guys. And shit is insane. That fitment is literally perfect. That's 20 PSI. I used to air out all the way. That's 20 PSI, so I could go even lower. But I'm gonna need a bit more camber to do that. But the car is literally on the floor now. Tilt looking good. That's about like -5 aired out. I have about -6 in the rear. I mean, this is, look at this, is insane. I cannot fit anything. That is absolutely crazy. I'm so happy with this. I did increase my ride height PSI by 5. Caesar's torquing the wheels over here. But I mean, this is just absolutely crazy. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you as always for watching the videos. We're gonna end it here. If you want to see more photos, check out my Instagram, Euro Trapping. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, this thing's insane. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
I drive up and down Harlem blocks, iced out watch, knots in my socks. Cops think I'm selling rocks, pulling me over to see if I'm drunk, but I'm sober. They wouldn't fuck with me if I drove a Nova.